Hello. So today I am working on like Agentic RAG chatbot, but so I'm going to show you how is it going to work. This is the UI of my RAG chatbot. So let me show you. Here we are going to the like browse files, anything, maybe doc, PDF. So let's say I'm taking my own resume. So here I open it. Just wait, guys. It's parsing, and we click on the ingest documents. Yes, so it's ingestion. So it's just like the documents taken by the ingestion agent that is working on the back end of it, and I will go through that later on. So I'm telling you how is it working. So let me the query looks like what is my GPA, and I'm pressing enter. It's a little bit slow on my laptop, so avoid it. Yes, so you must have seen just like no response received, try again, right? So why is it coming? Let me show you here. This is my app.py. No response is saved, try again, because it requires OpenAI API key that I don't have a subscription yet. When I put it shows the response. So I'm going to tell you how is it working on the backend, how is this architecture seems like. So let's see here. So first it takes like a document, like when you post any document, just say like any PDF. So the ingestion agent take the documents and it parse, extract the text. Then the retrieval agent has been came up, and retrieval agent, what does retrieval agent do? Uh, we will use like phase vector database or like Pinecone, that depends upon person to person. So and we use sentence transformer, or I'm using mini L6. I'll show it up on the code. So what does it do? Sentence, let's say sentence embedding. So when there is any text or like any chunks, it converts into the vector embedding, and that vector embedding is going to store on the like vector database. Here we are like using a database phase. So and then after that we perform a top k based search, like with the most relevant search. Or how can you define the most relevant search? When you query something, then we again it converts into the like embeddings, and then we check by the like cosine rule or Euclidean distance. That depends on person to person what are you using. So I use like Euclidean distance to query it, and then it parsing through the LLM, and then it generate the response. So yes, this is my ingestion agent. So whatever is happening here, just like see the PDF docx and PPT file. So it takes the file and extract the content, as you must have seen CSV PPTX. In the Python docx we are using pandas for like CSV file, and then we convert into chunks and using overlap. Why are we using overlap? Because like there is a you queried something and there is a context in two files, so how can you reference from one from another? So we just need some kind of context from, so that it links to one another, just like you can say linked list, like you have a reference from one to one another. And then we convert it into documents to their file paths, and then we go to the retrieval event. So what does the retrieval event do? Just like you here. So we are using sentence transformer for embedding and the phase vector database. So sentence transformer basically do is just like when we put any sentence, or when we put any sentence or chunks, it converts into the vector database, vector embeddings. And then we use phase index, just like database. Someone using like Pinecone, I'm using phase, and here we use flat L2. So it's just like we can search between query and the contents, how closely it aligns. As you can see, just like a cosine rule. Okay, so here we flatten the chunks, and then we store it. After that, we encoding all the text and convert it into the array, and then we query it, and then query it, and again use sentence embedding, and then we use like convert into array, and then search the top closely aligned with my context, and using like key nearest neighbor, like something similarity search. So we get log like 3 or 4 or 5 outputs, not only one. and then after that we go to like LLM response. Here we define the prompt and then we use OpenAI. I don't have OpenAI key, that's why I didn't get generate the answer. So here it is, and then I'm going to app.py. Here my main function is, so here this is this, as here as soon as we upload the file, and so it just call the ingestion agent here, JSON handler. Let's see. So it just take the trace ID and the payload. Payload, what is the payload? Payload is the message, whatever the message has been passing, in the receiver ID. Yes, see. JSON is the sender, and receiver is the retrieval agent, and document type is parsing. Here the trace ID. Here is the payload, like chunk documents, whatever we are sending. Trace ID we are using is for tracing the message so that a packet doesn't get lost, and we are maintaining the sessions of particular each and every user. So yes, here it is. If you have any question, please tell me.